This time of year, you can't be afraid to trim the fat off of your fantasy team. So today, Matt and I are not holding back the haterade as we help you cut some of the most interesting names in fantasy off your baseball teams, or do we, on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source of fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Dominic Martino. You can find me on Twitter at DomMartinoFB. Here, as always, with my brother, my co-host, my partner in crime, Matthew Ane, and you can find him on Twitter at Matthew_Ane. If you're listening on a platform like Apple or Spotify that allows 5-star ratings and reviews, we would truly appreciate it if you could do that for us. And if you haven't already, give us a chance on the Subtext platform, guys. Through Subtext, it's in-depth personalized experience through text messaging alerts right to your phones, offering so much more than we can in this 30-minute podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube and haven't already, hit the little bell below and subscribe to the channel and give us notification every time we drop a new episode. And today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And guys, today's a fun episode. We're firing up the Dropometer today. Got a lot of interesting names. As I teased at the top, I think some of these names are at like the tip of everybody's tongue. I've heard these names brought up so many times over the past couple of weeks on what we should do with them. So we are, once again, firing up the Dropometer with 10 amazing names today. So Matt, take the wheel here first. Which way are we leaning first, my brother?
All right, so I guess this is kind of like an imminent one. What do I do? How do I handle it? Because there's somebody creeping up his back and honestly about to slip that knife in his back and take the job. Daniel Hudson is the guy I'm talking about that is about to lose his job, and Michael Kopech is the one that's about to Judas him. And, Daniel Hudson has not been hot either. So, like, he's literally, I can't even say he's being Judased because he's literally just walking himself, escorting himself out the door. It's actually kind of ugly. His ERA on the month is a 6.35. He has four saves through that time, but damn, a 6.35 ERA. That's ugly. His last outing was his best one when he got the save. Other than that, it's been 9, 40, 0, 9, 9. Like, what are you doing, bro? And then you go and you turn around and there's this guy that throws like a buck and change, and his name is Michael Kopech. And Michael Kopech has been solid. He has literally had 2 saves over the last week and over the last month. But man, when the last time he had a bad game? I'm still searching. I'm still searching. It was before he was on the team. So yeah, it's that long. Michael Kopech has just been solid. So when it comes to Daniel Hudson, if he hasn't solidified this job, there's a problem. And I don't think these last 2 saves have come because of availability, because they're only not allowed to pitch after 3 days. So that just gives you like a 1-day break in between. So happy hump day, I guess. But Daniel Hudson has one bad start away from losing the job and getting yanked, like to the point where you're seeing the hook come and grab him and rip him off stage. So I'd be wary. I'd probably drop him right now.
So Matt, on the Dropometer, if we're going 1 to 10, what are we giving Daniel Hudson right now?
A 9. Just like his ERAs.
I like that. So I'm going to jump in here. It's an interesting situation in LA. So over the past week, Hudson has a save, Phillips has a save, and Kopech has a save for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So for Daniel Hudson in particular, Matt gave you the last month. The ERA is a 6.35. The WHIP is a 1.41. 11 innings, only 7 strikeouts for Daniel Hudson over the last 30 days. Kopech, since he joined the team, has been on fire. But the thing is, Dave Roberts came out and said that Kopech is, and I quote, gassed. And he was not going to pitch for a couple of days. His velocity's been down a little bit over the past couple of, days. He pitched 3 out of 4 days from from August 15th to August 18th. So the thing is, I don't know if he's a definitive closer. Don't get me wrong. If I had a pecking order of guys I want in fantasy, it's probably Kopech, Phillips, Hudson. So I'm giving Hudson probably a 7.5 on the Dropometer myself. But if the Kopechs and the Phillips and the Ben Joyces and Ryan Walkers of the world aren't out there, and you have Daniel Hudson, I might hold just because he's still getting saves. He did get the save in this last one, but he has been pretty ugly of late. So I'm not going to be surprised if Dave Robert mix and matches. And if Kopech comes back, right, and he can't handle the closer's workload, it's just going to get messy there in Los Angeles. So if you own any of those three guys, have a backup plan in mind. Once again, Daniel Hudson of the Los Angeles Dodgers, I'm giving him a 7.5 on the Droppable meter. Let's move from pitching to hitting for just this next guy. Let's talk some Jorge Soler. Jorge Soler is an interesting case, right? He goes over to the Braves where he won a World Series MVP. I was super excited. I picked Soler up everywhere, and we told you guys to do the same. And he was pretty good, going over to the Braves. But he's been hurt, right? And isn't that the story of Jorge Soler's career? A phalanges guy, as my brother Matt would say. Just a little nickname Matt has given to injuries over here. So it's a hamstring, right? And hamstrings are so tricky. Jorge Soler has been like, oh, he's day to day, and now they're saying that he's going to be ready by Friday. He's been sidelined since the 14th. I see the next update being, we're just going to put him on. We're going to backdate him on the IL, and he'll be ready when he's first off the IL. I'm not trusting it here. So unless you're in a dire need of power right now, I'm probably going to give Jorge Soler like a 6.5 on the Droppable meter, especially if you have outfielders out there. I know a lot have been popping up over the past couple of weeks. Jorge Soler, 71% owned on Yahoo. So right now he's very widely owned. I'd be looking for other options right now. I'd at least be getting ready to throw him on my IL and pick somebody else up if you don't want to cut him right now. But if you have one of these hot free agents out there on your waiver wire, I'm all about dropping Soler and moving on to the next big bat. The theme of the episode is the Droppable meter, but also trim the fat, man. Get rid of the things that are going to prevent you from winning a fantasy baseball championship. This isn't the time of year to say, oh, well, Jorge Soler, World Series MVP. No, that happened a couple years back. It's not right now. So be in the now, drop Soler, get the next best guy on your team.
Well, let's start off with this way. Is Soler one of those guys you want to burn an IL spot for? And the answer is no. So that's your first answer. 2, we both know, like Dom said, what exactly is going to happen. We've seen it about a million times if you played fantasy baseball. It's frustrating. Lastly, this batting average is not sustainable. He's batting 324 on the month. This dude is on the season 244. And you also look at his underlying stats. He's striking out a lot. His batting average is at 249. He's not even hitting the ball hard on a good amount of the time. So, it's about 40% of the time he makes the hard contact. His launch angle's a little bit down. He's chasing a lot. He's whiffing. He's striking out. I'm sorry, man. The batting average just isn't something that's isn't sustainable for him. So, you know what that tells me? All those other stats are not going to come. He might, chip you in a home run or two in a week, but then that's it. You get 2-2-2 across the board. No, thank you. So, Jorge Soler is a straight drop. Move on. If he decides to come back and then is hot, then you pick him back up. But I promise, you drop him, nobody else is adding him because you dropped him. So it is what it is. Coming up next is a big question. And you gotta just really figure out what to do with him. And that's Craig Trimble. And, does he still have the job? Does he not? And I'll be answering you right after this. All right. Tolna is the world's smartest and most effective strength training system that helps you get stronger. Powered by AI, Tolna learns with every rep so you can deliver workouts personalized just for you. Tolna learns from your movements and provides suggestion weight recommendations for every move with detailed progress reports. They even create personalized programs and workouts suggested or recommendations based off of your individual goals. It's like having a personal trainer at home with you as Tolna optimizes every workout just for you. Unlike traditional gym memberships, Tolna uses adaptive digital weights to advance your training techniques. From professional athletes to mom of 3, Tolna is trusted by thousands who have become their strongest. Right now, Tolna is offering our listeners $200 off Tolna purchase with the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Tolna.com. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off. Are you watching Fox Sports and ESPN on your TV all day? Have you had to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all that screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or free on the Amazon Fire TV channel app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Introducing the Locked On Fantasy Baseball Podcast Diamond Club on Subtext, your ultimate fantasy baseball companion. As the season unfolds, rely on our dynamic content, get real-time alerts right to your phone, including waiver wire rankings, instant call-up notifications, injury actions, and a whole lot more. Stay ahead of your fantasy leagues by joining the Diamond Club on Subtext, where your path to victory begins, and new members get a free 2 weeks. So check it out. The link's in the description below. And I did tease it at the top, and I want to get into it. And that's Craig Kimbrel of the Baltimore Orioles. And this is a weird time. You know, obviously a future Hall of Famer, obviously has been incredible his whole entire career. But we saw this last year down the stretch with the Phillies. We're seeing it now with Baltimore. You know, he gets this point where I feel like it's just like where he gets a little fatigued. It's like if you smoke meat, there's always that stall point where, you know, before he catches back again. I think he'll end up with the job again because you know, Sir Anthony Dominguez just blew another one. You know, Cano, even though we said might be taking the job, hasn't really been able to keep that job. They're putting out other guys, and Kimbrel's also the guy that they're also paying the most bucks to. And push comes to shove, they're going to want to keep him in those high leverage situations because that's who they trust at the mound going into the playoffs than anybody else. So I think Kimbrel's a hold. I'm not really dropping him unless an option pops up on the waiver wire. Honestly, at this point, if he's out there on the waiver wire, I'm probably going to add him and kind of stash him if I'm in that position to do so. So Kimbrel is a hold.
So what are you giving him on the drop meter?
Like I said, if something else comes out, so about a 2.
So I think we're going the total opposite way on this one, and we normally don't do that. I think I'm giving Kimbrel. I think I'm giving Kimbrel 10. I think I'm done. I don't see it anymore. He's another one. Even just this past Sunday, we're recording this on Wednesday. So this past Sunday, Kimbrel took the loss. You know, gave up 3 walks. Didn't really have the control. And on the season, numbers are starting to creep up with a 3.83 ERA and a 1.21 WHIP. And then if even you just go the last 30 days for Craig Kimbrel, 8 innings pitched, no saves, 9 strikeouts, an 8.64 ERA and a 2.16 WHIP over that time. I just don't. I hate to say it because, like I said, future Hall of Famer. I just don't think he has it anymore. I think they go back to Yainer Cano. They trusted him last year. As you said, Sir Anthony Dominguez is a mess right now. I know we're not really doing the ad type episode, but I think they go back to Cano, who has better numbers on the year than Dominguez and Craig Kimbrel. So I'm sticking with the 10 on Kimbrel. I just don't think they go back to him. As recent as of Sunday, he didn't have it in a situation where he could have got himself back into the closer role. So I think Cano's up next. And I mean, if Cano looks bad in the closer's role, I guess it's dealer's choice at that time in Baltimore. So I honestly don't want any part of that committee right now, but I'm done with Kimbrel. Let's move on. Let's hop back into bats here. Let's talk some Rhys Hoskins. Oddly enough, another former Philadelphia Philly that has moved on. He is with the Milwaukee Brewers now. And when Rhys Hoskins, came back, he's actually got decent numbers on the year with 98 games played and 20 homers. I really like that. 60 RBI is not bad as well. The 220 batting average, though, leaves a lot to be desired. And of late, he hasn't, been too stellar. The past week in particular for Hoskins has been pretty bad. 0 for 14 on the week with 1 RBI in a super, super dry spell right now. I know some first basemen have been popping up on the waiver wire. 60% owned for Rhys Hoskins, too rich for my blood, especially going into playoff time where, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, Hoskins missed the whole year last year, right?
Yeah.
So Hoskins did miss the whole year last year. And, he could be tiring out. He could be getting to that point where he's starting to hit a wall, and 0 for 14 for me says, all right, bye-bye, off my team now. So Hoskins is another guy I'm going to probably just be at like a 9 because in some of those deeper leagues, you might still want to hold on to him, like in your 15s, your NL only stuff like that. I might still hold, but, your 12s and stuff like that, get rid of him. I'm kind of done with Hoskins at this point.
So when it comes to Hoskins, I've never really been like a fan. I always just, he's good. He was always good for just power production, right? And you took him out of Citizens Bank Park, where it really kind of gave him the edge, and that I really don't like either. So the team isn't as wonderful around him as the Phillies are. There's not all those counting stats that are just really readily available. So for me, he's always just been a streaming candidate, and he's always been a guy that I always considered as a drop it like it's hot. So I'm all for just dropping him like he's hot at this point. If he does turn it around, I guarantee he'll still be out there when you go to look for him again. So just drop him, don't even blink, and just move on. Rhys Hoskins does not have long term value this season. I don't think ever. I just don't think he's that dude.
I don't think ever.
Sorry, I took a little sip before this started. But anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm going to talk about Bryce Terang of the same team, Milwaukee Brewers. And he's had a good season for him, right? He has 57 runs, 7 bombs, 50 ribs, 37 stolen bases, and batting .258. So here's the thing, right? We all know he's not going to be power. The runs aren't going to be absolutely blow you away. Literally, he's there for batting average. And by batting average, meaning not destroy your batting average category. And really, though, it's just stolen bases. The stolen bases are key. He has 4 stolen bases this week. So I'm not really ready to let go of him unless I'm in, like, I don't know, like a points league where he strikes out enough, or, a really, really like low end team. Like a low end like team quantity, like an 8-man or a 10-man, like a shallow league. That's the word I'm looking for. Essentially, that's where I'll move on from him, because he shouldn't be on your roster at this point with this kind of performance. Move on, and just kind of get somebody that's producing a little bit better. Unless you need the stolen bases and he's the only guy that produces, then you're SOL. Then you just got to stick with Bryce Terang. But other than that, for me, he's about a 7, and that's just really where it is with Bryce Terang.
So Terang being 80% owned, Milwaukee Brewers, he's second and short eligible on Yahoo. Another guy that is tough. It seems like he's turning a corner a little bit of late. Had a couple of good games from the 14th to the 16th, and then even the 18th, he went 2 for 3. But I don't know if I'm fully buying back in. I mean, if you held on Terang this long, you might want to, you just see where it goes over the next week or so. So, like, at this exact moment, I'm probably at about a 5 on Terang. I do want to point this out, though. Since the second half started, we determined that by the All-Star break, right? It's been 27 games for Terang. He has 12 runs, 94 at-bats over that time, 1 double, 1 homer, 12 RBI, 7 steals, and a 192 batting average. So in the first half, Terang stole 30 out of his 37 bases and hit 277 in the first half, compared to the under the Mendoza line at 192 in the second half for Terang. So there is a world where, once again, I keep saying this, but if those hot guys on the waiver wire are still there, you might want to grab them, especially Matt, who do we talk about? We talked about Jace Young the other day, and a lot of other guys that have that middle infield eligibility. And I might take them over Terang at this point. Even, maybe those deep leagues like Matt's at 15s and onlys and stuff like that, you want to hold on Terang. But otherwise, I'm ready to let go. I'm going to give him like a 6.5, maybe 6. Just for the steals, but he's not helping you anywhere else right now. Not helping you in any other category over the last 30 days or literally since the All-Star break, other than steals. So if you need those deals, you can hold. If you need anything else, I'm ready to let go. But coming up next, we have a catcher. We have 2 Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher and a New York Yankee. But once again, those names are coming up next. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest products, info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. And guys, Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of the Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. And then prices on Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, with killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seats, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of MLB tickets. With their last-minute deals, you can save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concert, comedy, and theater near you. With their flash deals, you can save even more with their exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. With their zone deals, you can save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. With their all-in pricing, you could toggle this feature, and it shows you the total up front, so you have no surprise fees at checkout. With their seat views, you get a panoramic view from the seat you'll actually be sitting in the app before you buy. With their lowest price guarantee, Game Time will credit you up to 110% back of the difference. And with Game Time's ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets and their lowest price is always guaranteed. And Matt, as you know, those are always a fun time. So I'm gonna pass it back on to you here, if you don't mind, sir.
Oh, I do mind. All right. I'm kidding. Logan O'Hoppe of the Los Angeles Angels. It's funny. It's sad that he's even on this show because he was one of the guys that I was really excited for this year. But maybe this isn't the year. It just I'm just upset. Let's put it that way. The season stats aren't bad. It's just this last month just really is ugly. The season stats are 51 runs, 17 bombs, 50 ribs, 2 stolen bases, batting 257. That's actually pretty solid for a catcher's numbers. But this last month has been ugly, and streaming catchers in one catcher leagues are a lot easier. In a 2-catcher league, his dropout meter is a 0. Let's put that out there right now.
Yes.
But but in a single catcher league, we're probably gonna move on.com on this one. We're just gonna pretty much just say, hey, there's better options out there. I'm gonna stream the position. Nobody's also gonna go pick him up either. So if he does heat up again, then boom, I'm gonna go, okay, cool. He's mine. I'll pick him back up. But I don't foresee that happening right now. There's just nothing that's really screaming Logan O'Hoppe's gonna bounce back right now. So just say peace out. He's about an 8 for me.
Yeah, with O'Hoppe, I'll say this: the last 2 games, multi-hit games in both of those for O'Hoppe. So maybe you hold on at least a couple of more days to see if he's bouncing back in the right way. I'm probably closer to a 5 with O'Hoppe on the dropout meter. I'm cutting O'Hoppe for if Austin Wells is out there in your leagues. I'll take him. I'll take Austin Wells. Del Castillo is another one from Miami who's been hot recent. I'd probably take him over O'Hoppe at this point. Those are 2 catchers that I know have been coming off the waiver wire of late that I'd probably take over O'Hoppe. So he's an interesting one. There is something there. He's a higher end prospect. He's got some pedigree. He's got pop in the bat. Has potential to hit for some, plus batting average. So that's why I'm only at a 5 because, last couple of games he's looked good. Kind of want to see where that goes. But that Angels team is not really a lot there as far as the counting stats go. So I will take, as I mentioned, the Wells and the Del Castillos over him. Matt, I think we're going to have fun with these next 2. These next 2 are, I think, pretty polarizing names, especially when it comes to fantasy baseball this year. First one up, Bobby Miller. I think I just want to preface it like this. If you picked him up when you heard he was coming back and you haven't dropped him already, do it. I hate to say it. Bobby Miller's a 10 for me. Too many options there in Los Angeles, even with the Glasnow injury for, the Dodgers. I just don't see Miller. I don't see him bouncing back. The strikeouts aren't there. He's not the same pitcher we saw last year and in the minors over the past few years. Something's severely wrong. I think Bobby Miller needs to, go to Driveline or Tread or one of those places that really track your pitches, their movement in the offseason, or even if the Dodgers organization has the technology, they could help them with it as well, but it doesn't seem like they do because I think Top would have figured it out at this point. As I said, I just can't really nail down what's wrong here. None of the pitches aren't working. There's just nothing's working for the guy. I'm at a 10. He's 43% owned on Yahoo. Cut Bobby Miller. I really don't think there's anything left. I think he's just the guy we're gonna revisit in the offseason as we get closer to the 2025 fantasy baseball season. Sorry, Bobby Miller, but I'm out at this point.
I was muted. I think the injury really plays a big part in why he's so bad. So, one of those facilities could definitely correct all his mechanical issues because that's all this is. The talent isn't gone, and he had great stuff. It just doesn't disappear.
Exactly. 5+ pitches last year.
Yeah. So the kid has an arsenal and a half. He'll put the United States Armory on to shame. So I like Bobby Miller as a prospect in a dynasty league. Obviously, you're not trying to move him or do anything. Next year's another year. Let's just wait for that. But this year, redraft leagues, keeper leagues, sayonara. See you later. He's a full-blown 10 for me. Walker Buehler. So this is weird because I just picked him up and then I dropped him the next day. I blew my whole fab budget on him.
Yeah, I dropped him the first time.
Yes. And I kind of just felt okay, like we needed to be a little patient. Dom I felt was a little, aggressive and overreactionary for his first bad start because he's coming back off the injury, but we then see it again, and it's another short outing too. Only went about 2 innings, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
4 in his last one.
4. So he went 3 and 4 the last 2, and that's not good when you can't make it out of innings. And he put himself in trouble both times, and the second time he got lit up. So I look at Walker Buehler and I go, "That's second Tommy Johns did something," because this is his second one. It isn't his first. Yes. And I was kind of all sales ahead going in, but you never know. It's always a risky pick when somebody's coming back from the second Tommy Johns. We could be in the same scenario for Strider as well. Both another top end pitcher. So things might not ever be the same for either one of these guys. I think Strider's just a little bit different anyway. A little bit more longer relevancy. But anyway, Buehler for me, I just think is a full blown drop. I don't think he's going to course correct this year. He'll be somebody that we're going to be getting at a value next year that it will be worth taking a shot on at some point.
Yeah, man, I'm with you on Walker Buehler of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's 59% owned on Yahoo, and to me, it's like I don't get why he's still so highly owned. I get what Matt was saying in the sense of that, he highly touted prospect. We've seen him do it before in the bigs, be an all-star, be a top 10 pitcher for fantasy. We've seen it before. But like I said, I think he nailed it. Something's different now. The second Tommy John's different. In the minors this year, as he was working his way back, 9 starts, 4.98 ERA, 34 innings, 35 strikeouts, and a 1.7 whip. That spoke to me. When I saw if you're not getting it done at AAA as, like I said, former all-star, one of the best pitchers in the game, something's different here now. The pitches aren't working. The velocity's down from, his prime. He's not the same guy anymore, and I'm just over it. 10 on the Droppable meter. You could easily move on for any of the, hot pitchers that are popping up on the waiver wire right now. Sorry, Walker Buehler. Matt, like as we said, Bobby Miller, Walker Buehler, great Los Angeles Dodgers starting pitchers. We're going to revisit them in the offseason. We're going to have different conversations around them when it comes to, 2025. But let's go to the next guy, another starting pitcher. And these were all guys we were so high on coming into the year, and it sucks to have it say at this time of year. We're going to add Gavin Williams to the drop list here with the Droppable meter. And just he hasn't found it. Another guy that's been injured this year. I think that's, affected his game as well. Gavin Williams actually 46% owned on Yahoo at the moment. I've dropped him in all my leagues that I had him in just because he hasn't found it yet. I'll say this, there is a world where Gavin Williams finds it. I think out of the 3, starting pitchers we talked about, Miller, Buehler, and Williams, I think Williams is the one that has the best chance of finding it because we're still seeing some big strikeout games. We've seen a couple of flashes here this season. But I think the injuries are limiting him. Still might be a little bit banged up. Another guy in 2025, I'll be taking Gavin Williams in a few leagues with my last couple of picks. But as of right now, another guy's probably just 9.5, 10 on the Droppable meter for me. Dropping for any of the spicy names that are coming around the corner. Once again, Gavin Williams, Cleveland Guardians, get him out of there.
Yeah, so here's the thing that kind of really scares me. Gavin Williams is it was an elbow injury and it was elbow soreness, and it locked him up for about like a month and a half. Actually 2 months because he didn't come back till June. So, these things get scary because normally what happens is they either bounce back and they're just fine. Like we've seen Brandon Wu do this twice this year, or You got Gavin Williams that's not showing any hype, anything. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see TJ if things keep going, because there might be something they're not talking about either. So it's a catch-22. I've dropped him in every league I have him at this point, so he's a full-blown 10 for me. Obviously not in keeper or dynasty, any of the sort, but every other platform, drop him like he's hot. But anyway, let's get this last guy in, Gleyber Torres, a guy that I full-blown justified on every which way I humanly can possibly say it. I have won this argument. There is no more talk about how Gleyber Torres is even relatively good for fantasy baseball. Okay? It's done. It's over with. Gleyber Torres is terrible at fantasy baseball for players. Okay? This is him right now. xERA of 4 sorry, wrong page. xWOBA
That's how much you hate him.
Yeah, I'm just so infuriated. xWOBA 302. X batting average is 331. X slug at 366. Average exit velocity, 88.1 miles an hour. Barreling, 6.4% of the time. Only hitting the ball hard about 33% of the time. Bat speed is way down. Okay, he's whiffing and striking out. He's barely even walking. The only thing he's doing right is his launch angle when he does manage to make contact. And he's not really chasing anything. And he's managed to create some walks. But sprint speed, running bases are down. Everything about him is down. Even the way he plays the field is down. Gleyber Torres, gone. Sayonara. I want him off the Yankees. I want him off your fantasy lineups. He's a family-friendly show. He's 170,000 out of 10 on the drop-o-meter. Bye.
I'm with you there, man. I'm going to give him an 8, though. I'm over it, too, especially as a Yankee fan. I don't know why we have this guy leading off. Over the past 48 at-bats, which spans the last 2 weeks for Gleyber Torres, 4 runs, no homers, 3 RBIs, no steals, 229 batting average. This guy isn't giving you anything right now. Get him off your teams. But, guys, with that being said, that's all for today. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. And after you listen to this episode, give our buddy Sully at Locked On MLB a listen. After where you first listen, Sully's your second listen, and then you're going to have a fantastic day. But, guys, until tomorrow, see ya.